Are you serious? Are you serious? Has President Vladimir Putin of Russia, has he gone too far? Has he gone Putin way too far? Putin, that's right. Boot scooting Putin, folks. Welcome to the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. What a night last night. Wow. We still don't know the exact total amount of people that got saved last night. Matter of fact, they're still getting saved. I just responded to a young man who gave his life to the Lord watching the archives of this broadcast just about an hour ago. People are coming to Jesus. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know. I'll let you know when we find out, but it's got to be over 100 people last night. It really was so many. Great crowd, and already that last night's broadcast has already been seen over 50,000 times since last night in less than 12 hours. So it's a very powerful broadcast. Tremendous information that Mike from around the world brought forward last night, and also Kevin Wilson as a guest. What a great time we had. Let me put a shout out right now for ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. If I can figure out where I'm at, because I've kind of lost my train of thought and track of thought. That's not good. But I'll get it right here. So you see, with Keto with Paul, here's what people are finding out. It's been miraculous, the results that people have had from this. I can tell you, when you get the right ingredients in your body, and the keto diet did that for people. The thing is, it's just a tough diet to keep. So what if we took the best ingredients of that diet and put it in to a powder form? Well, that's what they did at www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. Are you among the diet resistant? We've been told forever that diet and exercises are the keys to weight loss, but that doesn't work for everybody, especially after we reach the ages of 35 to 50, where any expert will agree it becomes much harder. You don't know it. None of you don't know this yet. The next 30 seconds, I'm going to help share with you how you can learn to help skyrocket energy levels in your body, boost your metabolism, and help you reach the weight loss goals quicker. Now, listen very closely to me on this, because the secret is the elevation of the ketones levels with an amazing new keto powder. This is incredible. It boosts the metabolism. It helps make your weight management efforts easier than ever. Go now to www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. One scoop in the soup or in the smoothie, you will literally feel the energy, the difference, and the loss of weight will happen. Wow. Energy is what's great, getting that energy level too. Wow. Okay. Now, it's crazy, but yes, has Vladimir Putin gone too far? Has he gone too far? That is the question that people are asking. And the answer really is going to be answered. There's going to be an answer. We are not, people have to realize it. There is no way that what's been happening can continue. Okay. There's just no way it can continue. People need to understand that we're in the last days. And if we don't give our life to Jesus Christ, if we really don't get right with God soon, we're going to face these incredible situations. Well, here's what we found out about Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin's partial mobilization of some 300,000 reservists to bolster the withering Russian forces in Ukraine was not a popular move at all. Cities all around Russia saw their biggest anti-war protests since Putin launched his invasion of Ukraine in late February. And the panicked Russian men rushed to the border or scrambled to buy remaining extremely high-priced airline tickets to leave the country. And there's just very few destinations that are still welcoming Russians right now in the world. Google search trends show a spike in queries like how to leave Russia, even how to break an arm at home, raising speculation that some Russians were thinking of resorting to self-harm to avoid the war. Russian pro-war nationalists, meanwhile, wanted universal conscription, but this Even this limited mobilization is likely to be highly unpopular with parts of the Russian population. Britain's Ministry of Defense has assessed the situation yesterday, saying Putin is accepting considerable political risk in the hope of generating much needed combat power. The move is effectively an admission that Russia has exhausted its supply of willing volunteers to fight in Ukraine. And the Defense Ministry added that the new muster of conscripts is unlikely to combat effective enough for months or numerous enough to reserve Russia's flagging fortunes. Has Vladimir Putin built up an iron grip on power over his 2 decades leading Russia? Could Ukraine be the answer? Could this be his Waterloo? Putin's asking young men to commit their lives to a flagrant war effort. That's risky, not only because it might not bring benefits on the battlefield, but because it's likely to provoke many of those men into outright opposition to the war itself. Samuel Green, a professor of Russian politics at King's College in London, England, wrote these words. He said, for the war's opponents, on the other hand, appealing to young married men looks like a clearest route to stifle Putin's plans. The public opinion won't tumble right away, says Pollock, but he says the mobilization will be gradually expanded, society will slowly become irritated, and people will lose faith in their leader. Vladimir Putin's partial mobilization was the careful balancing act of a leader under pressure who is trying to, one, please the hardliners and Russian mill bloggers, two, not displease the general populace, three, appease the military, four, give the impression he's not losing the war, says retired Australian Major General Mick Ryan. But what it really tells us is Putin and his military privately have accepted that they could lose this war. And his gamble here just prolongs the agony of the Ukrainian people without providing any real chance of a Russian victory. The whole world should be praying for Russia's victory because this is what, because there are only two ways this can end. Either Russia wins or a nuclear apocalypse. That's what the nationalist Russian tycoon Konstantin Malovich said at the Financial Times. If we don't win, we will have to use nuclear weapons because we can't lose. Does anyone really think Russia will accept defeat and not use its nuclear arsenal? Putin's latest escalation in Ukraine is no show of strength. It will probably only mollify his hardline critics in Russia for a while. And the Wall Street Journal is saying that Putin's announcement shows the war isn't over and that his partial call-up falls way short of a full war footing or a military draft that would enlist the sons of Moscow and St. Petersburg's elite and clarify for Russians that they can lose far more than the chance to eat at the now shuttered McDonald's. Over the past 6 months, an adaptation has taken place to the new conditions. People calm down. That's what Denis Wolfowitz, director of Moscow's Polster Levada Center, told the Financial Times. The partial mobilization may agitate people again. And I think if the Kremlin could have avoided it, it would have. But the conflict has its own logic, and it has led them to take a very unpopular decision. And we don't know this mobilization won't work for Putin. But according to Michael Kaufman, a chief Russian analyst at the CNA, it won't solve many of Russia's military challenges in this war, but it could alter the dynamic and extend Russia's ability to sustain the war. Fair to say that these are uncharted waters. And so we should take care with, this is the same thing Hitler did. Adolf Hitler, Rommel, his General Rommel, knew as soon as the United States Allied forces, as soon as we stormed the beaches of Normandy in France and got past the Germans' line, he said the war is over. He knew the war is over. We cannot win. That's why Rommel took a pistol and shot himself in the head, because he did not want to go back to face Adolf Hitler and to say to Hitler, it's over. Because he would probably be executed for treason and whatever else could happen to him. But essentially, it was over. Yet we had to suffer through almost 2 more years of the war until finally, Hitler and his regime had to be put down. Putin has acting like this move right here by Putin acts like a similar scenario. Instead of realizing he can't win this war and figure out a way to negotiate an ending to the war, Putin is going for broke. And he's doing it at the cost of anybody and everybody's blood in front of him. He does not care how many Russians die. He does not care how many Ukrainians die. He does not care about Ukrainian population. He hates the West, and he's hell-bent on becoming Peter the Great. But he's going to end up being Vladimir the Worst. That's my opinion. It's an end of time move, an apocalyptic scenario, a no-win situation where if Adolf Hitler had the bomb, would he have dropped it? Of course. And if Putin's mentality, has he gone too far? Is he gone too far? Not just has he gone too far, but is his mind gone too far? Now, there's a lot of propaganda on both sides. So before everybody thinks that Putin's going to throw in the towel and give up, you got another thing coming. To be truthful, he's playing world-class chess, and the rest of the world is playing checkers. And this is a dangerous time. You heard Mike from Around the World last night when I asked him the question, why in the United Nations did the Green New Deal, did the Green Initiative, the new green religion get put on the back burner by Emmanuel Macron and President Joe Biden and the whole world? It was supposed to be front and center, the biggest problem in the world. It got put aside. They said, we got bigger fish to fry. What were they? Was it Israel's offer of a 2-state solution with the Palestinians? No, it was what Mike answered it. It was nuclear annihilation. The concern, the realization that nukes are probably going to be detonated within the next 12 months, maybe even before the end of 2022. That we are looking at potential nuclear detonation. 1, 2, maybe 3 nukes, tactical nukes maybe, or even maybe a little bit stronger than that. You don't think he'd use the Satan II, do you? Or some other nuclear Holocaust type situation in an innocent city somewhere like Kiev or London or somewhere else. This is a very dangerous time. Our prayers is that Putin and the cooler heads prevail. And who's really giving the orders? Great question. Well, of course, Putin is on top of Russia, but who's really in charge of this world? Who's really calling the shots? How many secret societies are involved? How many families of the Illuminati are actually pulling the strings? Who's putting the pressure on Putin to continue to do what looks like an insuperable solution? And how is this going to play out? And what does the Bible say about it? Well, we know who the God of this world is. Lucifer himself. He is the God of this world. And obviously, if I look at Bible prophecy, the Bible tells us that when these 3 unclean spirits are released out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, that they will start to manipulate the kings of the east. They start to mess with the world leaders' minds, and they start doing irrational things that does not make sense. And you're seeing that now. I see it in a lot of levels, not just maybe Putin and his war tactics and threat of nuclear annihilation, but I see it with this stupidity of this Green New Deal and shutting down oil wells and shutting down pipelines when the world is begging for energy, a fear of a cold, dark winter. I see it in the ridiculous mandates that we have watched in the latest pandemics, and for the shelter in place, and for the citizen containment, and the locking people in their homes and nailing the doors shut in Shanghai, and for the imprisonment of the Uyghurs in China, and for the brutality in North Korea. I mean, I see it in the homelessness in Los Angeles, and the crime, outrageous crime spree in every major city of America. And when I see it when I see district attorneys refusing to prosecute murderers, but going after innocent people. I see it with 87,000 new IRS agents unleashed upon the earth. I see it with a wide open southern border, and nobody's doing anything to stop it. There's been insane things going on. I see it when they tell me to stop eating meat and start eating bugs. I see it. So before we go off on Vladimir Putin, before we completely try to make him the boogeyman, maybe we should take a long look in the mirror and ask ourselves, who's really going too far? Who's really calling the shots? And we will see his name is Lucifer, Satan, the God of this world, and his principalities and powers and manipulation of the human race to try to bring about the world's demise. All of this just before the coming of Jesus Christ, who will put an end to it all. Believe me, he will put an end to it all. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready? Have you been saved? Do you know what's going on? Are you willing to accept the fact that we all need a savior, that we all need to be set free? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? I'll be right back with some more in just a moment. Mission Temple Fireworks Stand. Are you serious? I saw a black man with a Bible and a sparkler in his hand. He was holding a tent revival and running the fireworks. We need a revival. He said the end of the world is coming, so you better get on your knees. Today bottle rockets 2 for 1, but salvation's free. He said, I quit my job in a big church where the milk and money flow to sell cherry bombs for Jesus in a tent beside the road. I ain't in it for the money, no cars they pass on by, but I paid rent on New Year's and the 4th of July. Here at the Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire and stone, Mission Temple fireworks stand. Fireworks are dangerous, they can blow up in your face. Better read the instructions like the fuse and get away. These things are made in China, so it's easy to see. How many worships Buddha ain't got no guarantee. This is the Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire brimstone, Mission Temple fireworks stand. He said everything I'm selling, it's all going up in smoke. This world is like an atomic bomb, it's ready to explode. When the trumpet sounds and the Lord comes back, I promise you one thing. I'll be a human bottle rocket, and I'll go out with a bang. I'll leave this Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire brimstone. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand. I'll read this Holy Ghost, Big Bang Theory, Pentecostal, fire brimstone, Mission Temple fireworks stand. Mission Temple fireworks stand. It's Mission Temple fireworks stand. Oh yes! Oh yes! Are you serious? Hey! Well, we are very serious, folks. Very serious, and don't forget, guys, of course, this Sunday is the Feast of Trumpets. Boy, with all this going on, the trying to depart the land, the nuclear annihilations, the wars, rumors of wars, diseases, plagues, Hurricane Fiona, typhoons, hurricanes, blood moons, baboons, pontoons, monsoons. Oh, Jesus has got to be coming soon with all these things that are happening. This could be, I don't know when the trumpet's going to sound. I really don't know. But boy, every time they come around, especially this year, this Feast of Trumpet, this could be a September to remember, okay? You don't want to be left behind. Anyway, send in your Feast of Trumpets offerings. You can send them in today, right now. But Sunday's the Feast of Trumpets. Sunday, we're going to be blowing the shofars and the trumpets. We're going to be celebrating the Feast of Trumpets. And of course, a lot of folks are going to give their offerings on that day. No doubt about that. Sunday Night Live will be amazing. That will be amazing. But let me just say this. You can send yours in now. You can do it 4 different ways. You can donate by going strictly right to paulbegleyprophecy.com or paulbegleyprophecy.org and send in your Feast of Trumpets offerings with your special prayer requests. Do that right now. Do it now. Or you can text give. The number is 765-327-4200. That's 765-327-4200. Or you can send a check or money order in the mail. Put it in the mail today or tomorrow, or get it headed this way, because the Feast of Trumpets starts Sunday. And actually, it will last those next, Feast of Trumpets and all the way in the 10 days of awe before the Yom Kippur, before the Day of Atonement. We're going to be receiving your offerings all week. Get it in. Guys, here's what you can do. Mail it in now at Paul Begley Prophecy, 1048-B. That's 1048-B, Sagamore Parkway West. That's Sagamore Parkway West, Box 33, West Lafayette, Indiana. That's West Lafayette, Indiana, 47906. That's 47906. Or pick up the phone right now. They're waiting on the phone right now, 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. And you can give your Feast of Trumpets offering and tell the operator, tell our staff who or what is your prayer request. I'm going to take all those prayer requests to Jerusalem in February of 2023. Next February, I'm going to Jerusalem. And already we're closing in on 60 people already signing up. I want to take 100 people. You can still go to Israel. You can still go. You got enough time. Let's get it done. There's 40 seats left. Let's get it done. Let's get signed up now. Get signed up now and be a part of probably the most prophetic time to be going to Israel. I'm serious. It's what a time to be in the holy city when you're this close to the coming of Jesus Christ. Wow. What if he comes while we're there? Why not? What if he comes before that? Are you ready? I'll be back, guys, with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Stay with me today. It's going to be a busy day. Got a lot going on. There's a lot happening. It's hard to stay on top of it all, but we are watching closely. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're totally running out of time. I'll let you know how many people got saved last night as soon as we get the totals. Our girls are working on that right now as we speak. They're going through the names, looking at the different requests for salvation. People are still getting saved on the archives. It's amazing what's happening. I'll see you a little bit later right here on the coming apocalypse.